morning, good evening, or good afternoon, and thank you for joining us once again, TheModenstersOfGaming. I am, of course, the fully healthy Kaiju K. With me here is that dastardly man himself, Juggernaut Jared.
Hello.
In the background is DG.
I just thought something. If
I
I
think.
like
Hello.
put this on my
Oh,
camera, I
uh-oh.
can use it like a buffer.
Uh-huh.
What's wrong?
I mucked up.
Probably.
Did you forget to press the record button?
No, I forgot to actually. I'm so used to playing as the robbers that I clicked on robbers instead of cops.
Whoops.
Once again, thank you for joining us. This is a quick video we're doing up on changes we would like to see in classes in this game, and one of the easy choices that we have is that we would like to see some changes with the character classes themselves. So, in no particular order, we're going to start with combat and work our way to intelligence, and then work our way to support. We did this in the robbers video earlier, so we're going to start here. We're going to start with, I believe it's the bodyguard. It's the bodyguard, yeah.
Yes.
So me and Juggernaut have agreed that the bodyguard is actually a very good class altogether. What we would like to see, though, is his energy shield. I'd like to make it like a bubble energy shield, so you can't just walk around and shoot from a different direction. And I feel that when robbers are inside of it, we both agreed that maybe it'd be better if they can't use ranged weapons, or that it deflects bullets from the outside back to who's shooting, so that could be useful as well. The combat medic here. We have also thought of real quick. First of all, the heartbeat monitor, it sucks. Okay, straight up, that thing sucks.
There's no use for it.
I like the fact that his bullets are poisoned. We can keep that. So we had an idea for a siren that would play, and while he would do it, NPCs would get out of his way and like duck down. So this serves two purposes. One allows him to get to locations faster because it'll boost his movement speed. The other thing that it will do is if you happen to be one of the criminals and you happen to be in the area when he activates it, he'll be able to see if you're one of them. Also, because the other medic has one, can we lose the shotgun and give him the syringe gun? That would just be better. Next up, we have Julius Caesar Salad here. Mr. Salad, we did a bit of a change with his Roman guards. So when you have the K9 unit, and the K9 unit is sitting down and to see something suspicious, it'll go chase after it, bite, and attack for a certain range, and then it goes back. Just give that AI to the bodyguards. I feel that would be very useful, very quick, very easy. Also, as long as one of the bodyguards exists on the map somewhere, he cannot die. Thought that would be a great little upper class ability right there. Make him a little more tanky. Because I mean, he currently has it, so he can't normally lose. Because obviously he can only kill with melee and fire and poison. But this just makes it a little harder because they got past his guards to kill him in the first place.
Yes.
Next up is the Reinforcer, and as everyone can agree, the Reinforcer is just badass. He doesn't really need anything, so we can skip on the Reinforcer. But the Riot Control, that's where things start to get a little interesting. So
This is where we had some troubles.
Right. So with Riot Control, his shield is tough, his tough skin is tough, he has the rifle. So for him, we just made it so that the tear gas that he launches blurs vision, so that enemies inside can't be seen. Let's see. Then we have the Sergeant, who is, of course, the jack of all trades, drops down a military bag. Sturdy, they regenerate health over time, auto pistol and rifle. Jug had a really interesting idea here. So when they put down the supply bag, rather than it being a heavy pistol on the submachine gun, because everyone's just going to grab the submachine gun, or the carbine rather, we replaced the heavy pistol for a grappling gun, which means that there's a lot more security going around.
Yes.
All right, next up is SWAT, or as I like to call it, the useless class currently. So apparently,
the useless class before the rework.
yeah, before this rework, basically he has a thermal vision, but somehow he can't pick up his gun after he's in thermal vision. So what we have the idea of is if he uses the flash launcher, it gets a breaching shotgun, which is Juggernaut's idea. This will ignore doors as cover and armor. And we have it so the thermal vision works properly and allows you to fire while it's equipped.
Yes.
Also, we want to lose the Kevlar helmet and instead have it so the when he comes into the map, he spawns 2 SWAT vans on the map, and he could go in and switch his primary and secondary weapons off because SWAT team's supposed to be. Oh, sorry, I thought that was a bad guy. SWAT team is supposed to be like this group that specializes in different weapon types. So being stuck with only one weapon type doesn't do him any real good. Okay, server host restarted the round, victory, etc. Come on. Come on! Jeez, I hate this. Because that's just a perfect idea for him. Because the Kevlar helmet is, hey, you can't do a lot of headshot damage to me. That's wonderful. But then they just body shot you. But if you have the ability to go to one of the SWAT vans, you can swap out your weapons for different weapons and make it more difficult for the opponents. Now comes the tough one. This took a lot of thinking to make them actually be worth the time and effort. So,
and yes, folks, this did take a lot of time. It was what, 45 minutes just to work on this one?
yep, this is just to work on the cyber police. Oh my god, I hate the cyber police. So, the cyber police are just absolutely useless right now. I'm sorry, guys. You guys have made a wonderful game and everything, but the cyber police suck. They have no real purpose. They're supposed to be an intel gatherer. They really don't do anything. So, this is where the big changes come in for our group. We replaced the systems log with the CCTV log. What this does is if something suspicious happens on camera, they'll get an alert and they'll be able to, in a small package at the bottom of the screen, rewatch the scene over and over again to see if they can figure out what happened. Also, cool idea, they can repair the CCTV stations from a computer. So if someone goes up and hacks the CCTV camera off, they can just fix it from a computer base. And then the criminal database, which just tells you what they're currently looking at on a map where there's hundreds of things that all look the same, plays it with a little drone. It's a little camera drone, and it can tag targets with tracking darts. We also took the pistol because, well, you're going to be using the SMG, not the pistol, and turned it into a modified pistol that fires tracking darts. Both the tracking darts for the cyber drone and the pistol last 30 seconds and ping every 3 seconds. That's a lot of data gathering for them.
Yep.
Oh, then we have this one. Oh, God, the detective.
This one's...
What were you guys thinking when you made the detective? I have to know. Did you think they would be a useful class somehow? Because they are not. Oh my goodness gracious. They are not. They are a worthless class, guys. I am so sorry about this. I don't mean to be mean or anything. But, like, they are by far the worst class there is. Because even the cyber police, I can honestly say, have a purpose in the game. These guys just don't. So perfect vision is gone, and we replace it with detective instinct. So as long as the robber is carrying a bag, bomb bag, gym bag, money bag, muriel bag, colostomy bag, etc., they will leave footprints that fade after 5 seconds. That way you can actually find out if someone's doing something suspicious, rather than seeing everyone's footprints on the field. And then forensic expert, it's finito. It's gone. It's done. We want to replace it with something like an evidence kit. So if the detective says, let's say they have a location where they know a computer's been hacked, or they know that the items have been stolen, they can sit there and for a few seconds dust the area, and they'll get a bit more of a hint on how the person moves and acts. And what that basically means is as the person's walking around, they get a fainter but slightly brighter foot trail as they go that lasts longer and longer over time, which means that the FBI agent can start tracking, the detective can start tracking them down. Yeah. Sorry, I started reading up the good class, so now we're going to jump into a fun class. So give us a second here. This is the FBI class, which I believe is that one. Okay, so this is one of Juggernaut's favorite classes.
Yep.
So the motion detector, we want to turn it into like a weapon detector, so it's an area where you can just push a block against the wall, and if it scans somebody who has weapons or gadgets, aka the robbers, It will stun them, do minor damage, and then reveal the location to the FBI agent. I think that's amazing. With that being said, we also have the Fed agent, which is one of my favorites, and we don't really want to do anything to him. Now, this is another one. This is another one we had difficulties with. This is the Hornet. Nope, I'm in the game again. Hang on a second. Beep. So the Hornet is a weird class because I don't actually know what the Hornet's supposed to be. I tried to figure out what type of police force they're supposed to be. I've looked around. I can't figure out what they're supposed to be.
We're clear.
I think it's a class made up just for the game.
Right. But we did agree that we want to get rid of the auto pistol and replace it with a grappling hook because the Hornet's supposed to be like a bug or something like that. So give him that. And instead of that jump pack, which gives him a 20% higher jump and everything, we replace it with Hornet armor, which grants immunity to poison tier effects. And they take 30% less damage from non-bullet effects. So that'll give them more defense against those things, plus make them immune to poison and tear gas. We wouldn't be going anywhere without Marie Curie, aka Miss I'm Radioactive. Radioactive. So one thing that always bothered me about her is you have her X-ray scanner that she can put against walls and it shows skeletons, but it doesn't show anything else. Like, I'm pretty sure if a skeleton walks by and they're carrying a bag with a bomb on it, it would show up. You know, they're packing a pistol. You got to see that. So that's what I think they should change. It allows you to see them if they're packing weapons or carrying things. You know, the arms dealer can be an exception to this. And then her radioactive trace, I think what would be interesting is if over time the robbers carrying these objects slowly took damage over time.
Yeah.
Like, not a lot, but it just like slowly builds up until they either drop the item or they get rid of it, in which case they can still be tracked down by the Geiger counter. But I believe that after they do one of those two things, she get an additional use to the radioactive. And last, but certainly not least, we have the good old-fashioned spy. First of all, fast runner, a 10% movement speed actually is detrimental to the spy. Because I've noticed that if someone is playing as the spy, it's actually quite easy to figure it out by just looking at the person who's moving faster than anybody else. So instead of fast runner, we have spy gear. It's a small sensor that if a robber passes by, will silently ping the location of the robber to the spy and temporarily shut down the robber's powers until they go back to a van. So basically, it's a little sensor that will detect if it's a robber or not. If it is, it'll ping you and deactivate their special abilities until they get back to a van. I think that's great. It gives them the locating ability. It gives them the ability to travel, get more information, to sneak around. And you would just have to be very careful because you wouldn't know where the spy was. But he knows where you are. Alright. Easy box. So give me 1 second here.